Friday Night Football under the lights, CityTV Sports welcoming you to Halcap Field on the campus of Hawthorne High School. Along with Rufus Washington, I'm Lou Stowers. Also, our sideline crew is going to be joining us as well. So, Rufus, this is going to be a great preview for the upcoming season.
Oh, it absolutely is for both schools, for the South Spartans as well as the Hawthorne Cougars. And, of course, Coach Pasinger, being in his third year, really looking to make his move now. Last 2 years at 3-7, but they've got some returning players, and they've got guys who now know his system, and this should be their breakout year. Didn't get off to a good start last week, but they're looking to recover soon as they head into league play.
And the Cougars are going to be hosting the South Spartans. And Tamara, they have a quarterback that's been here all 4 years. So talking about knowing a system, Josh Waybright really has a quarterback there.
Yes, and Waybright talked before the game. He said he's looking to keep the ball in Gabe's hand. He said that he's been here for 3 years. He knows the system. He's looking for him to get players involved, get players out there, and he's hoping his talents on the field can be infectious. So we can see the ball mostly in Gabe's hands tonight. And like he said, the running back is by committee, so whoever runs the ball, that's who he'll be handing the ball off to. You may see Gabe running the ball a little more, but he will keep the ball in his hand most of the time because he is the quarterback with the most experience on that field.
And then defensively, Rufus, the Spartans run kind of a Steelers type of an offense with only 2 down linemen.
That's what he was saying, a 2-5-4, a 1-5-5, whatever it is. It'll be a little different than what we traditionally see. But with this program, they've had a lot of success over the years. Last year was a successful year for them, and he's got the returning players, as Tamara was talking about, that'll be key contributors to making this team very competitive. It's going to be a tall order for the Cougars tonight to stay with this team.
All right, and Coach Pasinger, like Rufus was saying, Sebastian, is in his 3rd year here. What can we expect to see from the Cougars tonight?
Yeah, definitely in his 3rd year, and he's changing the complexity a little bit of Hawthorne. This team is always much ready to play every game. Different face that you're seeing from this team. They're always coming out with their game face, but fell short last week to Linwood, looking to clear things up here at Halcap Field against the South Spartans, who they haven't had much success with in the last couple of years. So we'll see if they can get it done.
All right, and last week the Spartans defeated Lawndale's Cardinals 33-21, and Coach Waybright was saying that the Cardinals are a very physical team. We'll see if the Cougars can match that physicality.
Well, as we saw the Cougars leave the field after their pregame warm-ups, we saw some size out there, and they've got some. And this South team isn't a team with a lot of size. They got speed, so maybe the physicality of the Cougars can hold them in good stead tonight, and which they want to do here in front of their fans at Halcap Field. As you mentioned earlier, they'd love nothing more than to get this season going with a W.
All right, kickoffs underway. Coming up right after this, it's going to be the Spartans and the Cougars right after this. Back up top, Halcap Stadium, along with Rufus Washington and Tamara Wright and Sebastian Spencer on the field. Still a warm night. Whoever thought that in the high 70s you would get the chills?
There you go. Now, I got to ask you, you just said Tamara Wright. Did she get married on us in the off-season or something?
Did I get her name wrong?
Tamara Latta, but you could be right. But you could be right.
No, I'm not. No. She's just going to come after me again. Tamara Latta.
She's got the looks to be married. Don't.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's right. Okay. So the Hawthorne Cougars have a little bit of a uniform change. Same colors, but gold helmets this year and white trim and white numerals as the captains now come out on the field. South, I don't think they've changed their uniforms in at least 18 years since head coach Josh Waybright came to town, or back to town. So who are our officials tonight, Rufus?
Our officials tonight, the referee, the white hat, out on the field. You'll see him in a moment. There he is. That's Dwayne Harris. Working with Dwayne tonight, the umpire is Tom Citron, the head linesman, who we had on the crew last week. In fact, the next three were on last week's crew. Herb Thompson, Chaka Wade is the linesman, and Ron Williams is the back judge.
All right. So we're getting the rules, the ground rules down now.
And basically what the referee Dwayne Harris is going over with these guys, in addition to the obvious, which will be the coin flip, is again discussion about sportsmanship, just a couple of things about that they need to be aware of. If there are new points of emphasis rules this year that he's telling them, but more than anything else, red talks to red, white talks to white.
So we see out there for the Cougars as Jalen Morgan, number 4, number 2, Benjamin Delgado, number 54, David Gonzalez, the captains for the Cougars. And there you see number 13 in green for the Spartans. That's Gabe Zuniga, a 4-year starter for Josh Waybright and the Spartans. And we're going to see a whole lot of Mr. number 13.
Well, we certainly, our coach was telling us that he is their all-everything player, the one guy that he trusts the most. He's obviously the undisputed leader of the team, but more importantly, he knows what the coach wants done on the field and how he wants it done. And as he mentioned, well, you'll see him at a variety of positions, so don't be thrown, fans, when you hear us call him as the kicker, as the quarterback, as the defensive back, as a lineman, whatever the team needs. Number 13 does it for the Spartans.
Okay, so the Cougars win the coin flip. They elect to receive and defend the goal to our right. That would be the north goal. So they'll be going right to left across your big screen on CityTV.
Right.
So let's hope that all of this hot weather business is out of the way as the remnants of Hurricane Linda we can see off of the coast of Manhattan Beach and Redondo Beach, and a beautiful sunset just up above the 30-yard line.
Well, it's a beautiful night for football. I got to say that. It's going to be a great night for the players down on the field on both sides, because as the game goes, especially a football game, your body warms up considerably. If you're out here on a hot, muggy night, as we saw last week with all the players cramping up in the Lusinger game, that takes a toll on you. But this way, you can expect that that we won't have as much of that problem of the player cramping as we did last week.
Jalen Morgan will be the kick returner to the far side on the left, and it'll be Benjamin Delgado on the right. And getting ready to kick things off is Noah Harrison, a junior running back, and he's under contract with the LA Galaxy.
Right, which is the first, well, I guess maybe in the world of soccer that happens. Not often that you talk about a high school player being under contract.
Well, wasn't there a kicker for Lusinger that he was kind of under the same thing, wasn't he? He was under a pro contract.
Well, he was a couple years ago. Kicked a little bit for Lusinger, but took his talents elsewhere. Ultimately, after high school, I mean,
right.
he did a great thing for Lusinger, but soccer was his sport of choice.
And one of the best kickers that the Olympians ever had. So here comes the kick, and we're underway here at Halcap Stadium, and that's going to be a touchback.
And this guy may be the best kicker that South ever had. You know, I mean, he kicked that in the end zone from the 40-yard line.
That's right. Yeah, that one went almost out of the end zone. So it'll be 1st and 10. And we'll find out how Andrew Kalinowski will fare for the Cougars.
Well, Andrew's going to be handing the ball off to either number 29, Johnny Ray, or passing it to former quarterback here, Martin Maypew, who's number 5.
Number 9 is Kellen Nowinski, and he hands the ball off straight up the middle in a cloud of dust and a few yards on the game. And number 23 for the Cougars, gains 5 yards. So it'll be second down. Second down and 5. And a tackle was made by Sean Fitzgerald. Kalinowski handing the ball off again. Trying to go around the end. Maybe a yard on the play. So it'll be third down and 4.
So, third down situations always big. This being the first of the game for the Cougars. Right now, across the 25, needing to get to the 30 to pick up the first down and keep this drive alive.
So passing situation for Kalinowski. And splitting out to the near side.
Third down and 4. Ball's on the
Number 6, we're going to have a split formation. 3 receivers to the near side. Pass across the middle. It's caught. It's complete for a first down and then some. Almost to the 40-yard line. They're going to give him to the 40-yard line. And that's Benjamin Delgado with the reception, Rufus.
And Coach Pazinger told us he would be one of the guys that we'd be seeing. Delgado wearing jersey number 2, also a running back for the program as well, and a strong safety on the defensive side of the ball.
So first and 10, a good-looking ball. And they give it to him on the 38-yard line. So a 12-yard gain.
Ball's on the 38-yard line.
That first down pickup can go a long way to instilling confidence in this team.
Still trying to establish the run, and a big run by the Cougars across the 50-yard line and finally drugged down near the out-of-bounds marker. That's 29, John Al Ray. 9:49, so the clock stops, so he did get out of bounds, but inside of South territory down to the 43-yard line.
And if you look at the blocker that was in front of John L. Ray, he did a very good thing. He understood that from his blocking position, you'll see him coming into your picture now, and you saw him give ground, number 6. So he didn't pick up the clipping penalty and caused him to lose. So heads up play by number 6 for the Cougars.
Kalinowski under center, out of the eye. 2 receivers, 1 in the slot. Ball's handed straight up. Trying to go off tackle and squirming through, but a big hit by the linebacker, Sean Fitzgerald. So John Al Ray with another nice run though, Rufus, getting about 3 yards.
And so far, this drive has really looked very good for this Cougar team. They got shut out last week against a good Linwood High School football team. But they've come out tonight. This drive started at their own 20, and they're now in Spartan territory at the Spartan 42-yard line.
Left tackle is the Salatai for the Cougars in the spread offense. Wide receiver screen to the slot and read well by the defensive South.
And we've got some laundry on the field. Wow, that one's going against South. Looked like the indication from the referee, Dwayne Harris, was that it was a roughing the passer.
Huh, maybe we can see that again. He's still talking about it.
Yep, that's what he indicates, personal foul, roughing the passer, and that's going to add 15 yards onto this, Lou.
All right.
15-yard penalty. First down. Hawthorne Cougars.
Well, there we see the hit. Okay. So the ball goes down to about the 25-yard line. We'll call it the 24. But it'll be first and 10, and a nice gift by the Spartans. Ball is handed off, hit hard by the defensive end and brought down. And that was Ray. And on the tackle, that was Bryce Van Ness. So no gain.
No gain. Looks like that penalty may have angered him a little bit.
Like a hornet's nest, huh? Troy Oliver comes in now for the Cougars as Kalinowski comes back in with the play on a big 2nd down and 10. Just under 8 minutes. Glad you joined us on City TV. And a timeout called by Donald Pasinger, the head coach.
Hawthorne Cougars.
So timeout number 1. And Donald Pasinger. Well, also the Cougars have adopted the Washington State Cougar logo and incorporated Hawthorne Cougars, and it looks pretty cool. I like it. We're gonna have to figure out how to snag one of those hats. From Coach Swain. He's the easy pick. Right?
Coach Swain's a great guy. Been around this school and this program for a long time. Just loves working with the kids and being in the mix, whether it's here at a football game or you're seeing at a basketball game or any of the other sports. As the AD, his presence and his infectious smile is always felt.
If you never met him, just look for the guy who's running around like a jitterbug, screaming and yelling.
Right.
That could be a lot of guys.
It could be.
That could be you.
My guess is that Coach Pasinger called that timeout because he wants to make sure that his team understands that this is a golden opportunity, and guys, let's take advantage of it. And he wants to put something in that works best for them.
Quarterback draw, and it was almost an option play, but Sean Fitzgerald is there again to make the tackle. And that's to the 30-yard line. So a 4-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd down and 6. Actually, no, I'm apologize. That's number 8 who carried the ball. Christian Cooley. So down to the 20-yard line, excuse me. Big 3rd down play out of the shotgun and the spread. Back to pass. And the pocket breaks down in a hurry. And just inside the 25-yard line. And down goes Kalinowski.
Down goes Kalinowski. Down goes Kalinowski. Sets up, looks downfield, sees the pursuit, steps into it, nowhere to go.
And there's Mr. Fitzgerald in there too. So it's 4th down and 10 on a loss of 4.
At 25 and 7 would be 32 or 42-yard field goal attempt. If they were to do that, my hunch is that they're going to go for it on 4th and 10 instead.
I would think so. So out of the spread. One running back with the quarterback. Back to pass. And now we've got whistles.
False start on the offense. It's 3rd and long either way. This makes it a little bit longer. Obviously 5 yards longer for him.
It'll be from the 29-yard line, so 4th and 15. So they got to punt the ball now, or? I wouldn't think so. Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, that wouldn't be, if you're playing a field position game, a bad thing to consider at this point, because I think the odds, obviously, of picking up a 4th and 15 at any level aren't exactly in your favor.
They're going to go for it, 4th and 15. Looks more like 4th and 16.
Now you're going to have too many men on the field.
Yep.
So now it's going to be a 4th and 20. So we've gone from 4th and 10, 2 consecutive penalties against the Cougars.
I don't think that was a delay of game call, was it?
I thought it was either an indication of too many men on the field or an illegal substitution. Actually, you saw the referee count the players on the field, and the indication to me, the mechanics seemed to suggest there was too many on the field. But at any rate, it's another 5 yards back.
Kalinowski downfield, and nobody's there. The ball went towards the sideline. The receiver cut in. Intended receiver, I would imagine, was Benjamin Delgado, so the ball's turned over. Plus 10. Actually, plus 14, because it was third down and 6.
Exactly. But I like the look of that throw, even though the receiver, as you mentioned, again, a miscommunication because he ran one pattern, the ball was thrown another way. But it was a good-looking throw by the quarterback. And now we get a chance to see the South Spartans for the first time tonight.
Zuniga with a wide receiver screen, and it's very successful across midfield and then some, down to about the 47-yard line. So that was Noah Harrison. On the 18-yard gain.
Harrison, as we spoke about earlier, in the Galaxy developmental program in soccer. Great defense that time by the Cougars, though, boy, to sniff that play out. Pass out in the flat. Didn't fool any Cougars, man. They were right on top of that. In fact, stopped them for no gain on the play.
Pass was complete to Richardson. And on the play there, Jalen Morgan with a nice tackle. So pass complete, but no gain. So 2nd and 10. Oops.
Whoa.
It's going to be offside against.
No, well, I changed his mind.
Well, he was going with the beat of the music, you know.
Right. Is that what it was? It was a
Hey, go you mighty Cougars. Yeah. He just missed the bump and grind there, the 70s bump. So that was the Salatai, the left end, and also the left tackle, so +5.
And the Cougars have had penalties called against them on 3 out of the last 4 plays, Lou.
Down to the 42-yard line, Zuniga finds a hole, goes upfield almost down to the 35, and that could be good enough for a Spartan first down. It is.
And that was an excellent play fake by Zuniga. Boy, he froze the Hawthorne defender in his tracks. And then because he had to play him for the pitch, for the option, and instead Zuniga turned it up and picked up a first down.
Sean Murphy, the senior right tackle, he's a big one for the Spartans. Good blocking up front for the running back, Cameron Dillon. And he gets inside the 30-yard line down to the 27.
And Dillon, one of those, he was first team all-league at linebacker position last year. Last week, he had 21 carries for 83 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Lawndale Cardinal team.
So a 9-yard gain, 2nd down and 1. Kind of reminds one of a guy named Corey Dillon.
Right.
Good defense by the Cougars that time to keep Dillon from rounding the corner. Plugged the hole and then finished him off. A good play by the Cougars and a loss on the play of 3.
You know, we talked about this in the pregame being Coach Pazinger's 3rd year. And by then you've had some players that have been in your program for a couple of years and things just start to come together. And right now in this first, both on the offensive series and the defensive series, seen just a different Cougar football team this year so far.
The Salatai was the man who plugged up the hole for the Cougars. Caught by the Spartans out in the flat. And down near the 20-yard line. Trevor Talpas with the completion. So that'll be first down.
And that was Maypew, looked like number 5 with the tackle.
Good open field tackle. So down to the 20-yard line, a 10-yard gain, 1st and 10.
Maypew, obviously one of those kids, Lou, that just wants to play. Here's a guy who was a quarterback for a couple of seasons. A lot of guys would have just said, hey, if I can't play QB, then I'm just out of it. This guy goes over, embraces a whole new position. Let's see, did that come down inbounds?
Yes,
wow, they're saying
yeah,
it
they
was.
said it did. Touchdown Spartans for Carl Richardson. So a 21-yard pass to the corner. And that's 6 on the board for South. Watch the protection.
Well, when we look at it, actually there was a Cougar went for it and just did not make contact with the ball to either deflect it or intercept it. And instead it ends up in the hands of the South receiver for the touchdown.
So Zuniga to Richardson for the touchdown.
Okay.
And now we're going to get
Okay, well, it was
something
illegal,
marked off.
another illegal substitution. This time it was against South.
Harrison to tack on the extra point. Actually, no, this is Zuniga to tack on the extra point. Nice save on the snap. And the kick looked wide. It is wide to the left. But I got to tell you what, Rufus, Trevor Talpas did a terrific job on saving that snap because it was wide and to his right, so he had to reach back and get it. Boy, what a beautiful shot that is. Beautiful sunset on this 9/11, as we remember those.
Absolutely.
Bar is open.
Almost as beautiful from the Surf City Broadcast Center.
So go ahead to the snack bar. Support your
So the
team.
PAT no good.
Get yourself a snack.
And there's some beautiful fans here, too. Zuniga to Harrison. 6 plays. .65 yards. And it took just under 4 minutes. 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Zuniga to Harrison, 20 yards. Morgan and Delgado, far side, near side, waiting the kick, and there it goes again. He's trying to go through the uprights, it looks like.
Yep, well, and he's not giving the Cougars, obviously ball sails into the end zone, automatic touchback. Even if it bounces into the end zone from the field of play, that's a high school rule. Once the ball crosses the end line, it's automatic, comes out to the 20. But that's a good leg on that, on their kicker.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's Noah Harrison with the kickoffs, and all right, let's go down to Tamara. Maybe after this play. Ball is handed off.
There's the hole right there.
Nice big hole. This is running back for the Cougars down to the 10 and into the end zone.
What's the indication? Wow, they're going to say it went out at the 1-yard line.
Janal Ray went 79 yards on that run.
And boy, he tried to get it in, and when we see that on the replay, you'll see just a great run by John L. Ray here in the latter stages of the first quarter.
Let's watch the block on the left side. There was just nobody there. And then John L. was off to the races. So the touchdown saving tackle was that Harrison?
That's number
Number
six.
6.
And that's Harrison. And you got to give Harrison a lot of credit. I mean, we can't even see where he came from, but he came out of nowhere. You talk about not giving up on the play. I mean, he absolutely came out from across the field.
Right. Okay, so they're going to call it 1st and goal. From the 4-yard line, they're going to mark it. So 76 yards on the play, and now we have a timeout. Now we can go to Tamara when she's ready. What a run there by John L. Ray. And tell you what, 74 yards or 76 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Okay, so
There's the blocking. Now let's see where Harrison comes from. All the way, like you said, all the way across the field.
wow.
Is Tamara ready? Okay, let's go.
Coach Waybright is not happy with how the defense came out here and started the game, but the offense came in and gave the team some life and found the end zone. Let's see if the defense can hold this offense out here. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Tamara. Kalinowski under center, Rufus.
And the defense right now, South, has their back against the wall. And if you're Hawthorne, you certainly want to capitalize as they take it down a little bit closer. And still, now there's an indication. That indication comes from here on the side from Chaka Wade that it's a touchdown.
Okay, didn't see anybody else call it, but if she called it, that's good for the Cougars. And I believe is that Benjamin Delgado, number 2?
I think so. That was a 4-yard run.
All right, so that's Benjamin Delgado with a 4-yard run. So coming on to put the extra point on is number 2, and that is through. Number 20, that is.
Extra point, good. Score,
So the PAT is good.
7 Cougars.
So it's now
South High School
7-6 in favor of Hawthorne, but the big 76-yard run by Janal Ray.
Well, that was the difference maker right there. And, of course, that gives, for the first time this season, the Hawthorne Cougars have the lead in a game.
And they'll take it. That didn't take long at all, Rufus. That took almost 30 seconds.
That's it.
2 plays.
Of course, with one of them 76 yards. down inside the 5 to about the 4. That makes the rest of it real easy. And, of course, John L. Ray, as you've said, did the heavy lifting on the play.
27 seconds on the drive, 80 yards, 2 plays. Delgado with the 4-yard run. So back to receive is Harrison and Richardson for the Spartans. High end over end kick. The ball is caught and fumbled at about the 30-yard line.
Wow.
But
There's
now
a wall on this side, and now the Cougars have got to get there.
Richardson getting through everybody. Only a couple of men to beat. The flag is in the air. Now it's a foot race. Richardson goes all the way into the end zone, about a 70-yard run, but is it going to come back? There's a flag around the 45-yard line of South, I think.
And if you're the Hawthorne Cougar fans, that's what you're obviously hoping for at this point, that flag's against them. Otherwise, that was returned for a touchdown, but let's see what the indication is from the referee, Dwayne Harris.
But beautiful blocking, like you said, Rufus. I don't know if the ball was handed off to Richardson. No, there's Josh Waybright, the 18-year head coach of South. Donald Pasinger, 3-year head coach for the Cougars.
Well, the referee's over on the far side giving an explanation to Coach Waybright. The Cougar players are lining up as if though they think it's going to be against them, but there was clearly a flag on the field, and we'll see what the referee tells us.
It's a touchdown, okay.
Wow, okay, so what they're saying is that it was a sideline infraction against Hawthorne.
So players out on the field, somebody out on the field maybe?
Yeah, well, no, what happens is that, and it wasn't that they were on the field, but one, they were too close to the sideline, and in addition, they may have gone outside of the box for the field. But whatever it was, the official on that side indicated that it was a violation against the Cougars, and the touchdown stands. And that was
Richardson.
Carl Richardson with the touchdown run.
70 yards is what I'm calling it. So they're going to go for the 1 point, extra point. Zuniga comes on. Better snap, better kick.
Better result.
So with 49.5 seconds left, South retakes the lead on the kickoff return by Carl Richardson, 13-7. So one play. And that took 20 seconds.
Took 20 seconds, and in the last minute and 36 seconds of the first, we've had a total of 20 points scored. and the quarter's still not over.
That's right. Still warm out here tonight. The wind has died down. Feels a little chilly, so it must be about 79 or 80.
Well, you talk about demoralizing and adding insult to injury because of the violation of the penalty. Now they'll be kicking off from the 45-yard line of the Cougars. Now, let's figure this out. If he can put it in the end zone from his own 40 and you bring him 15 yards closer,
he's going to try to make a field goal.
He's going to hit the bus is what's going to happen.
Break a window in the bus. Or put it in the LAX landing pattern, which is just to the north of us. Here we go. He squibs it. Uh-oh, it was touched by a Cougar and scooped up inside the 5-yard line. And one missed tackle to the 15-yard line, a scrum.
Wow.
And almost to the 20-yard line, Jalen Morgan.
And that was Noah Harrison who was able to get a hold of his jersey long enough to hold him up. Boy, that's when you go, man, where are the old days of the tearaway jerseys?
Right.
Because if he'd had on a tearaway jersey right there, he'd been gone.
And so it was the days of Jamel Holloway.
But instead, they used that nice silk and nylon type jerseys.
Did get back to the 20-yard line.
So that makes it a positive return in my book. That's what I judge it by, boy. And they threw him a curve on that one because they kept it in the field of play, and the net result still ends up being the same thing. First and 10 from the 20.
And Janal Ray is the running back with Andrew Kalinowski, the quarterback, out of the shotgun in the spread. Kalinowski looking to the right, throwing to the right. It's complete. And the receiver trying to get some positive yardage. Looks like he got to the 30-yard line or close to it. That's Marte Mapu. And that is a first down. Nice job by the offensive line and Mapu to get positive yardage.
You know, I mentioned when Hawthorne scored their touchdown, it was their first lead of the season. That lead lasted all of 21 seconds.
So 2 for 2 is
We have
Kalinowski.
a snack bar over there. They have chili cheese, Fritos, hot dog,
Okay, now we get the clock
soft
moving.
drink, candy.
Was wondering, that was taking a little bit of time. Spread
Right.
offense again for the Cougars. One running back besides Kalinowski. Quarterback keeper on the end around. And Harrison is there to put Kalinowski away after about a 5-yard gain.
But I think it was a good play for Hawthorne because, boy, South was showing the blitz, came with the blitz right there, picked up Jonell Ray, and instead Kalinowski kept the ball himself and picked up 5 yards. So that was a positive play for the Hawthorne Cougars.
So it'll be 2nd down and 5, clock running, 10 seconds left to go in the quarter. And that's going to do it for the first quarter of action here from Howcat Field. Kind of nice to be outside here, really.
Oh, it is.
We're
It
usually
is.
in a little.
As long as it's not raining.
That's true.
And
Okay.
the first quarter,
I wouldn't mind if it was raining, but I would mind if we were out here, that's for sure.
South High, 13.
So what do you think?
I think it was a great quarter, you know, a little back and forth. I think the Cougars showed some of their offensive prowess, and, man, they've got a player in number 29, Jonell Ray, a bit demoralized. It'll be interesting to see how they bounce back because, as I just mentioned, boy, their first lead of the season lasts all of 21 seconds because they give up a kickoff return for the touchdown right after they scored. So now it'll be a question of whether they can bounce back. But I've seen them do a lot of good things out here. I think this Cougar team is going to have a very good year and will definitely be competing for a league title. Or in the hunt. Let's say it that way. They'll be in the hunt.
Be in the hunt, okay. Last year, the Cougars were 1-4 in league and 3-7 overall. And last year South was 2-3 in the Pioneer League and 6-5 overall, and they lost their last 3 in a row. So now we're switching sides. Hawthorne going left to right. Under center, the pitch goes to Ray, and a good play in the back defensive by the defense, and that was Trevor Talpas. And let's go down to Sebastian.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. It's not very often these two teams meet up. The Spartans always play against Lawndale because they're part of their league, but they do not see the Hawthorne Cougars that often. The last time these two schools met was in 2007-2008 season, but the Spartans have dominated the Centinela Valley School District, those schools including Hawthorne, Lawndale, and Lusinger, and they have been 11-0 since that year, 2007. Let's see, can the Cougars break that streak tonight?
Kalinowski, had his man at the 45-yard line, but Harrison with a good defensive play to spin Marte Mapu just at the right time.
Exactly, and he definitely had his man ball thrown just a little bit behind him here. Again, also not a tight spiral. If that had been a tight spiral, because it was a wounded duck, it took a little longer to get there than if it had been a nice spiral. This time, of course, the Cougars will have to punt.
4th down for the Cougars, 4th and 4 from the 36-yard line.
Whoa.
Bad snap, real bad snap. Just fall on it.
Wow.
And there's a gift to the Spartans.
Wow, and when you say a gift, you're exactly right, because that's going to give them the ball. Looks like they're going to spot it just outside the 10-yard line. In fact, they're going to spot it on the 10-yard line, so it's going to be what should be a first and goal because it's inside the 10 from our vantage point here.
It is, yeah. That was Reza Amrari making the play, the defensive play. So it's on the 10-yard line on the bad snap. 11-11 left to go in the first half. Zuniga hands the ball off. Over right guard. And that was Dillon. Dillon gets down near the 5-yard line.
And he's a big kid as you look at him here on your screen. Just going right up the middle. Cougar defender hanging on for dear life.
So a 5-yard gain for Dillon, and it's second and goal from the 4. Dillon again towards the end zone, and he got in.
Touchdown.
So touchdown Spartans. Only took them 2 plays.
Took them 2 plays and 1 big turnover by the Cougars, boy, on the high snap that just sailed over the head of the kicker, and it gave them possession at the 10-yard line. Because if I'm not mistaken, that line of scrimmage was either the 40 or the 45. And, man, that snap.
Yeah, the 36 is
36, okay.
So that was a net loss of 26 yards, or 27 yards if it was inside the 10. So now a whistle. Offside on the Cougars.
Outside, Hawthorne.
So Dillon with a 4-yard run. At 10:25. So that took 36 seconds. On a 9-yard drive. Corey Dillon bulling his way. Now they're going to go for the 2-point conversion after that. Zuniga with it, and Zuniga.
Now you've got a flag on the play holding against South, so that's going to bring that back, and that's going to back them up 10 yards. So now this may force them to go with the more conventional kick.
So 19-7 is the score. So the ball comes back out to the 6-yard line. Figure on a hold, it would come back a little further than that.
Well, that's what you would think. At the mark off for holding is 10 yards. That's an interesting one. I'll have to ask one of the officials about that.
It's not half the distance back towards the 50, is it?
No. No, and you're right. And I think that's what they're going to. Are they discussing that now? Yes.
So they should,
okay,
yeah,
so the ball was
that should
improperly
come back to
placed.
about the 12-yard line, the 11-yard line or something.
And that is where they put it at.
Because it was half the distance to the goal from on the first penalty against the Cougars, so that would have put it about the 1.
Right.
Or the 1.5. So now you're back around the 10-ish.
The 10-yard penalty for holding.
So now Harrison comes on. He's going to show off his boot.
And it gets blocked.
And it did. Certainly
Extra
did.
point, no good. Score, Cougar 7.
Was that blocked by big old number 56? Or 58 maybe.
So a bit of a break there for the Cougars as they blocked the extra point attempt. And
I I didn't hear. It might have just been a muff, because I surely didn't hear a boom boom like you would normally hear.
Well, I don't know if we've got a replay. We can take another look at it and see. This kid's too good a kicker, though. I mean, we've seen the other stuff from the just shank one like that.
There's nobody around him. He just blew it. Now see, did you yeah, you can see the hold, the tee.
Right.
He kicked the tee.
Okay.
If we see it one more time, you can see this little black thing skitter around, and it's the tee. Watch right where his foot is. There goes the tee.
Yep.
Right in the line there. That's the ball tee. All right. Harrison squibs it now, and it's picked up by Morgan. Morgan trying to get to the 25 and does. So good positive yardage, and the Cougars aren't giving up here. They still got that drive in them and a good return.
They still got the drive in them, and this is where they need something good to happen for them now. And we talked about this last week. It's always the score that you see in a newspaper or watch it on the crawl on TV oftentimes doesn't tell the story of the game. And right now it's a 19-7 game, and you'd be thinking that, oh man, South has come in here and walked all over them with 3 TDs, but 2 of them have been courtesy of turnovers.
Troy Oliver in the game goes in at tight end on the right side for the Cougars. Ball is handed off. They go to the left side. As Ray was tackled. Is that Fitzgerald again? Let's watch from this angle. We should see. Yep, that's Fitzgerald coming in, just blowing in from his linebacker position. Literally launched himself.
Right.
So no gain.
This time, now they're in the 1-5-5. They talked about we're only the 1 down lineman.
Well, that's something that the Cougars should be able to run on. It was Kalinowski with the run.
Well, the challenge that it presents, though, is that when you've only got 1 down lineman, the other standing players, and that's the point. You got one that's in a 3-point stance. Everybody else is standing up. First, they see the play better. Secondly, their pursuit to it is quicker.
Okay, timeout on the field. I didn't see who took that. If it's by Hawthorne, that would be their second, with 9:10 left to go in the second quarter. If it's South, it would be their first. At any rate, it's 3rd down and a long 5. When they go into that formation, it would be a trust issue by Donald Pasinger to see if he would allow his quarterback, Andrew Kalinowski, to change the play and be able to run.
Well, they're going to have to do something at this point. I mean, there's still a lot of football time left, 9 minutes left here in the second quarter. But after the one big play by Jonell Ray, they haven't been able to get a whole lot out of the running game the last couple of plays.
All right, the Cougars are ready. Mapu and Delgado split to the near side. 2 running backs bookending Kalinowski. Back to pass, looking this way, and is caught and hammered down on the sack.
2 guys. Well, we have John Kim, number 62, in the program. He's a freshman, number 11. We don't see. Well, we got to look at it.
That's Patrick Patterson.
So Patterson and Kim on the play.
So a loss of 3 on the sack.
And here we go with the kick, with the snap adventure again. Another high snap.
And a high short punt. Kicks back.
Got it down. Got it down, young man.
So a net 10-yard punt for the Cougars, as it's spotted on the 40-yard line of the Cougars. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Spartans, and they get another short field.
And you can't keep giving them a short field and hope to win the game. So once again, the Cougar defense now is going to be tested and asked to make a stand here. And this is going to be a critical stand now. I mean, the game is still well within reach at 19-7 with 8:15 left in the second quarter. But you don't want that deficit to get any larger than what it currently is.
Absolutely. They got to hold them right here. Zuniga with a 5-yard completion down to the 35. Ball was caught by Trevor Talpas. His second catch of the night. I don't think Zuniga has an incompletion tonight, according to my record. Shotgun in the eye. Ball is handed off to the fullback. And good job by the Cougar defense.
Well, they got to the point of attack real quick on that play, and they had a swarm of Cougars get there, which helped to ensure that they'd stop it for little or no gain.
Well, Jimmy Clark is a load. It's 215 junior, 6 foot 215. So they got a couple out of it. So it'll be 3rd and 3.
Now you're going to have offside against the Cougar, number 4 here. Boy, it came into the neutral zone, and
Flag on the play.
That's giving them a first down if it
Hey,
is.
you guys remember the snack bar wide open waiting for you guys. Go get yourself a snack, soft drink, candy, chili cheese Fritos.
So the replay happened just off of the screen.
right. Well, what happened was the Cougar defender, number 4, ran up to the line, but in running up to the line, he crossed the line. and that's what drew the penalty and gave South the automatic first down. So yet another turnover leads to a first down situation.
So good defense by the Cougars, and that's Sean Fitzgerald coming back on the offensive side, trying to run the ball. And trying to do the Woody Hayes impression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. So a 2-yard gain by Fitzgerald, his first carry of the night. And true to his word, Coach Waybright said it's going to be running back by committee.
Now we've got multiple flags on the play. Let's see what this one is. This will be
Offside, Hawthorne.
Flag on the play,
wow.
offside, Hawthorne.
So another 5 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and short. 2nd down and about 2.
And penalties have really hurt the Cougars. So you go from a 2nd and 7 to a 2nd and 2 against an experienced quarterback and a very good football team. That one's incomplete through in the double coverage on that. But now we've got an official stoppage of play as the referee, Dwayne Harris, indicates that, hey, I'm going to stop it, and he's asking for the coach to come out along with the line judge, and that's Chaka Wade. who's keeping the clock. And I'm not sure what he's telling them, but, you know, they seem to be glancing up at the clock as if there may be a malfunction there. And now you see
At Paysinger looking up at the press box where they keep the time.
and he's on his headset talking to the guys upstairs, and now he's asking one of his assistant coaches to go up and deliver a message to the clock operator, something apparently
Not going right.
to say the least.
So that was the first incompletion by Zuniga tonight. After going 5 for 5. Shotgun out of the eye. Dillon with it. Dillon rumbling his way almost down to the 10-yard line, maybe inside the 10-yard line. And a huge run by Cameron Dillon.
Enough for the first down as they move the chains, and if it's inside the 10, which it is, it's going to be first and goal.
So down to the 6 or 7-yard line. Call it the 6. So an 18-yard run. 16-yard run by Dillon. Give it to Dillon again. His spot. Now it's plugged up, but still Dillon.
Flag
carrying.
comes in on the play as well, though. Looks like it's going to go against South as the preliminary indication.
And that time, Rufus, South went right at the solid tie, the 6'7" senior. So it's a big one. Going back 10 yards to the 16.
And if you're the Cougars, that's the kind of break that you need. Indication is start the clock.
5:10 left to go in the second quarter. Cougars down 19-7. Zuniga over the middle. The pass is caught inside the 5. Cougar defense straightens up the receiver, and
the official's whistle blows it dead. They never actually got him down.
looks like the completion was to Trevor Talpas.
And that was a good throw over the middle by Zuniga.
So they mark the ball at the 7-yard line, so they get 9 of those back.
Ball on the 7.
So it's 2nd and goal. Zuniga incomplete. Good defense on the play by the Cougars.
Makes it a 3rd and goal now. So another excellent opportunity here for the Cougar defense to stiffen its back. Because if they can contain them to a field goal here, that's huge, Lou, as opposed to a touchdown.
Well, it's 3rd and goal right now from the 7. And now we have a penalty flag, and let's see if it's another offside. It is.
Oh,
Lining up offside. I believe they're going to get the defensive back
on the far side.
On the far side. There he is right there, number 7.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Francisco Castillo on the replay.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Francisco Castillo on the outside.
No, that guy had too quick of moves. I mean, Francisco, he's good, but he doesn't have a dance move like that.
And so now you make it, a 3rd and goal from the 2. Yeah, once again, you had a situation that was to your favor, and instead of now it's a touchdown again. turnovers and penalties make winning extremely difficult.
Yep.
And so they had a 3rd and goal from the 7, which was for your defense. That's manageable. That gives you a shot at holding them, or at least forcing a 4th down decision. You make it easy by being offside inside the 10-yard line, moves the ball down to the deuce. That makes it real easy for them. And they capitalize.
7-play drive from the 40-yard line. So now they're going to try for 2, get those 2 points back at 25-7. Give it to Dillon right up the middle, smashes his way for 2. 27-7. South leading Hawthorne with 3:54 left to go in the half. And watch Mr. Dillon. Excuse me, sir. As he moves Mapu out of the way. So 40 yards on the drive. Took 7 plays, but there was, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties in that drive. 3 of them by Hawthorne.
And that'll hurt you every time, as we mentioned. So they've had penalties, turnovers, and now they find themselves in a 27-7 hole.
Yeah, even the Spirit squad, they've got new uniforms too. So now Harrison, 3:54 left to go. And that drive took 5 minutes, 40 yards in 5 minutes. But then we had all those penalties too.
Right.
Ball is kicked high, end over end at the goal line.
Yeah, touchback. That's good. That actually is a blessing in disguise, if you ask me.
As Jalen Morgan caught the ball and put his foot inside the end zone. So that's an automatic touchback.
Automatic.
You know, if you're hungry, we have hamburger combos, hot dog combos.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cougars at their 20-yard line, and they would love to put up a score before halftime, eat up some clock and get a touchdown.
Going down there to the food snack shack.
Man, you hear food, you just had the word eat into the commentary, huh? Eat up some clock.
That's it.
Yeah. That's code for I want some food.
Yeah, this old dog.
And now South takes a timeout.
Okay, so that is their first timeout, I believe. So we've got Tamara Lata making her season debut on the sideline along with the effervescent Sebastian Spencer.
Who almost treated us to a cut moment there. He was thinking about it. If you go back and look at it, he was definitely thinking, but he decided, let me go with the flow and stay with it.
Still the beginning of the season. He's not mid-season yet. So here come the Cougars running onto the field. That's good to see.
But I would love for one of them at halftime to get Coach Pazinger's thoughts. I mean, because his team has been competitive, but turnovers and penalties have just really hurt their effort.
Kalinowski hands the ball off to Ray, and he is hit hard immediately. Inside the backfield, that's Cameron Dillon. He's doing it all tonight. Watch this hit. How did he get back there?
Right.
He was camped out back there. Had the tent, the fire going, had the weenies roasted, and the beans bubbling.
And the Cougars are saying, when we get across the line that quickly, we're called for being offside, and yet still this guy's in our backfield before our running back even has the ball in his possession.
Single back in the eye. And Kalinowski, I don't know if that was a quarterback draw or a bad snap, but it's a gain of 1. So it's 3rd down and 11. Bad snap. So actually it's a no gain. 3rd down and 11.
But what they're doing that's frustrating the Cougars is that they are showing blitz again. And right now we see them with the 2 down linemen, everybody else in a standing position.
Kalinowski back to pass, but illegal procedure, false start by the Cougars. And that formation will mess you up if you don't see the guy's nose in front of you.
If you don't see it, but what you got to do is just block your position, all right, and your coverage. I mean, you're giving coverages. They're showing different things, and you can't get caught up in what it is they're showing you. So, let's go down to Tamara. All right, we'll come back to it in a moment.
They came out of their huddle too soon. 2 running backs, bookending Kalinowski. Looking this way, throwing down the near sideline. It's going to be a jump ball. Wow. Just in and out of the hands of Jalen Morgan. And Brandon Terashi with the defense.
Yeah, but Morgan's got to catch that ball. That was a good throw. That was right in his hand. So, as we watch the replay here.
A little bit of a push-off, too.
Exactly. Well, turnabout's fair play. Now we'll go down to Tamarlada.
What I can tell you is the Spartan sideline is fired up. Players and coaches are high-fiving one another. Despite the defense's shaky start, the offense has come alive, and they are putting this team on top. Let's see if they can carry this over to the second half. Back to you guys.
All right, 4th down and 16 yards to go. Another flag by the back judge.
Looks like this one's, again, another substitution penalty, and it's going to be against South.
So 4th and 10.
Won't change the Cougar decision at all, though, in terms of needing to punt the ball away.
Still going to punt. Punt is a line drive.
Got it out of there.
At least it makes it up near the 45-yard line. It goes out of bounds on the far sideline. At the 45. And just looking around after that whistle, the traffic cop whistle, thought that usually means a flag's around, but nope, don't see one.
What it was, and again, the clock is running. What the referee is saying, first of all, we got to change a possession, okay? The clock is automatically dead, you know, after the whistle blows. That's what he was telling me. I looked up. I know it was at least at a minute 54, okay? The first time when they looked up, and what he's going to tell them now, and he's telling them to watch me. I'm going to tell you when to run the clock.
Okay.
So let's see, where were they last week? Where were the Cougars? Were they here, or they were at Linwood? So this is the clock operator's first game as well this season.
Zuniga going for the touchdown down the middle, and just in and out of the hands of Noah Harrison, and he had visions of 6 dancing in his head.
Well, he had visions of it, and the Hawthorne Cougars had visions of it. They had nightmares of it, okay?
He got by everybody.
Yeah, see, that's a nightmare right there when you got a guy behind you, ball in the air, and he's extending.
That's not only taller than you, but faster than you. Wow, what a specimen Noah Harrison is. Zuniga out of the shotgun. Harrison split to the right. Now Zuniga out of the pocket, still wants to throw, but he got past the scrimmage line and runs out of bounds.
Whoa, that's going to be a late hit out of bounds. Okay.
Yep, there you go.
Okay. And once again, the official, Jocka Wade on the play, her partner helps out because that was clearly, you hate to see the play call, but this is the second week in a row when she's missed a late hit. So they're talking about it now. Now they're going to wave the flag off.
Yeah, well, he landed in the sand pit.
Right.
So at least it was a soft hit.
I wish we could see a replay on that one. This is just out of curiosity, boy, because I got to tell you.
And Zuniga with some great feet. And, yeah, he was already out of bounds. But it's first down now from the 27-yard line. Zuniga breaking the pocket again, runs into his own man, has a lot of room on the near side, and goes out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Closer to the 15.
And, of course, that's enough to pick up the first down with 1:25 left here in the first half. 27-7 score. And, boy, the ball's now down, as you said, at the 15-yard line.
First down, ball's at the 15.
So a 12-yard gain down to the 15 for Zuniga, as he's accounted for 30 yards on this drive. Back to pass, a quick pass, almost intercepted. Almost intercepted by the Cougars.
There's number 22.
Eric Holmes.
Program. Nearly with the
Oh,
interception.
man. In and out. He needs to stick your gloves.
Yep. Of course, hit him in the wrong place.
Right in the hands. So South catches another break. And it's second down and 10 from the 15. So Eric Holmes, good to see him back. First time we've called him tonight, I do believe.
Yep.
Minute 20 left to go in the second quarter. 27-7, South with the lead and the ball. Out of the shotgun and the spread. Towards the end zone, caught, touchdown for South.
And that was Noah Harrison on the touchdown catch from 15 yards out.
That's his second one of the night.
Touchdown, Torrance.
At 1:15, so another quick drive on another short field by the Spartans. That's their third short field drive tonight.
Torrance favor, second quarter. Minute 15 left in the first half.
And Zuniga coming on to tack on the extra point. Four plays.
Kick is up, and it is good.
So with 1:15 left to go, 34-7, South takes control of the game. .45 yards in 35 seconds.
Imagine what a difference, obviously, that if the near interception had actually been made, would have made a huge difference here. So instead of holding it to a 20-point lead, it's now a 27-point lead for the Spartans of South.
A lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas tonight for the Hawthorne Cougars.
And of course,
and we still have a half to go.
Still got a half to go.
So Harrison, maybe Coach Waybright said, why don't you dial it back a little bit? Maybe not here. Back at the 1-yard line is Morgan. Morgan gets up to the 25-yard line in the first return for the Cougars tonight. And Jalen Morgan gets a 25-yard return.
And with 1:08 left here in the first half, interesting decision. Do you try to burn clock and just get out of here, or do you look to move the ball up the field and get a score before the half if you're the Hawthorne Cougars?
25. Hawthorne's ball.
I think you got to play it out only because of the fact that, if we're correct, South has 2 timeouts, and actually you'd end up giving them the ball back with time left on the clock.
So the South defense coming up big on that play, Rufus, on first down.
Cougars, I think, fortunate to get it back to the line of scrimmage.
On the wide receiver screen. Very fortunate to make it back. So it was a completion, but a no gain. Second down and 10 from the 20. Counting down to 20 seconds left in the half. Another wide receiver screen that goes over the head of Jalen Morgan. Actually, he should have had it.
Should have had it, but the other thing he's got to do and stay alert and aware is that you don't know how the referee is going to rule that. If he, depending upon if the ball is considered a backward pass, then that's a live ball if it's incomplete.
And we saw that last week, didn't we?
Yep. Now, if it's going forward, so as a player, you got to stay on top of that and play that ball all the way through, even after you miss it.
3rd and 10 from the 20, absolutely. Kalinowski down the middle or down the far sideline, and that goes out of bounds. Good defense by the safety and the cornerback. That's Talpas and Richardson.
So it's a 4th and 10 with 15 seconds left here in the first half.
So it's 4th down, 15 seconds left, and Coach Pasinger says we're just going to punt it away and hopefully.
Well, even that's been an adventure. So, one, you got to have a good snap first of all to give yourself a chance, and there is a good snap on the play, nearly blocked, boy.
Yep, and the ball straight up takes a south bounce, and it's another short field, 45-yard line. The ball gets downed. 1st and 10 for South, but they have 8 seconds left.
I think what those 8 seconds, if anything, they may take one shot at the end zone with it. Clock won't run until the snap of the ball because it's change of possession.
Zuniga out of the shotgun, spread offense, 2 receivers to either side of him. One man dotting the I behind him.
That's what he comes out and does. Shows that he's going to look up the field, pulls it down, decides to run it, gets out of bounds, clock ends, no flag, so that'll end the first half.
34-7 is the halftime score. And Hawthorne, mistakes cost them dearly along with penalties.
Absolutely did. I mean, just on virtually every score, it was a result of either a penalty or a turnover.
And a short field. And just looking at the longest field was at the beginning of the game for, well, let's see. South had it at their own 35-yard line to start things off. And that's when they scored their first touchdown on the first drive, Zuniga to Harrison. And then Jalen Ray with that 76-yard run set up the 4-yard touchdown run by Delgado to make it 7-6. And then the 70-yard kickoff return, that was the backbreaker, I think,
Right.
Rufus. The 70-yard touchdown return by Richardson. Then Dillon in the second quarter, after the Cougars punted it away, with a 4-yard run. And that was after the bad snap that put the ball back around the 10-yard line, the 9-yard line, to make it 19-7. And then Dillon had another short field, a 40-yard field, a 7-play drive to make it 27-7. And then Zuniga just moments ago, a 15-yard pass to Harrison, and that was a 45-yard field. And we're going to go to Tamara Lata as soon as she gets set. Go Tamara.
Coach, at halftime, you're up by 27. In the first quarter, it was a little shaky, but you were able to shift the momentum in the second quarter. What changed there?
You know, the last 2 weeks it's been like that. I think it just takes us a little bit of time to get used to the speed of the game, and it's tough when you don't have a lot of depth in practice, so you can't get after it every day. So on Friday nights, you know, we kind of expect coming out that first quarter they're going to get you. Hawthorne's fast, and they got some big kids, and I think it took us a little while to get used to that speed and that size.
I know before the game you told us the running back position was by committee. Are you liking what you see out there? What are you seeing out there from all the running backs?
I think they're doing a great job. You know, I like the way Coach is spreading the ball around. I think Gabe is having a great night so far. You know, obviously we got another half to go, and the thing that scares me is they can go at any time. You know, Hawthorne can go at any time. So we got to kind of hold down the hatches and try to get out of here with a win. So.
You did say you have another half to go coming out of the second half. In the second half, what would you like to see out of your guys?
Same thing, effort. Our motto is 48 minutes, and they've known that since the minute they walked on the campus. Every play is the same way. That's all I want to see. Just keep playing hard. Just keep playing hard.
All right, Coach. Thank you, and good luck in the second half. Thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Tamara. And we will be back with the third quarter action and some stats for you when we come back for the second half of Hawthorne hosting South Torrance in a preseason non-league game right after this.
Hi, I'm Donnell Beverly from the University of Connecticut, home of the 2011 National Championship UConn Huskies basketball team, and you're losing your Olympians.
Beverly around the back, follow a jumper, good, beautiful shot.
It wasn't too long ago that I was playing basketball right here.
I just want to thank him for having me here. I'm honored to play here.
And the Huskies are the top dog in 2011.
Winning the NCAA championship has always been a goal of mine, but so is getting a great education that will last me a lifetime. You can achieve your goals too. All you have to do is work hard and dream hard, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
Back here at Halcap Field just before the start of the second half, have some numbers for you. For South, Cameron Dillon, 6 rushes for 32 yards and 2 touchdowns. Zuniga with 4 rushes for 39 yards and a touchdown. Passing, Zuniga is 7 out of 10 for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. So not a bad day for Mr. Zuniga, Gabe Zuniga.
Just another day at the office.
And over on the Hawthorne side, Ray with 7 rushes for 79 yards. And Cooley, 1 rush for 4 yards. And Delgado with 1 rush for 4 yards and a touchdown. Kalinowski, 5 rushes for a net of 4 yards. In the passing department, Andrew is 3 out of 7 for 22. So there's some work to be done by Hawthorne, that's for sure, but mainly they need to keep the yellow flag in the official's pocket.
Well, that certainly is going to help their effort not only tonight, but throughout the course of the season. Just way too many penalties, and there are penalties in situations that either kept drives alive or took South, in this case, out of what would have been difficult distance situations and made them easy.
That's right. So we're going to kick it off. It'll be Hawthorne to kick it off to South.
And this is where that decision to receive to start the game comes back to haunt you, because now you're already trailing by 27 and you got to kick it off to these guys for them to start the second half coming out of the locker room refreshed.
Kick is to where Noah Harrison is at the 14-yard line. Comes across field to the far side and has an opening. And there he goes up across the 40-yard line to about the 43. It'll be 1st and 10 for South, and that's their second worst field position of the night.
And that was almost a 30-yard return. They'll mark it officially. Well, let's see where they're going to spot the ball. They're actually going to spot it on the
on the other side of the 45. Yeah, the 46.
Well, I think they're going to bring it back some and looking from the position of the line judge here.
We'll call it the 45.
They spotted on the 45. So 31-yard return for Noah Harrison to get him started here in the third quarter.
Zuniga hands the ball straight up the middle, and a big cloud of dust and into Hawthorne territory to the other 45-yard line. Hands the ball off to number 11. And number 11 is Patrick Patterson. Big hit. And going head over tea kettle. Who's the running back? That was Patterson again.
Yeah, but he moved the chains.
Let's watch this one. Nice open field tackle. So the ball is now at the 43-yard line.
Okay, that's movement by South over here, number 58. And 58's Chris Brown. He's just a sophomore, so he's a youngin' learning the ropes.
So it'll be 1st and 15. There you see the movement right there. Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle had moving. Back to the 47-yard line, we'll call it. And
you got to wrap up right there. Ooh.
Almost got away, but Sean Fitzgerald's a tough kid to bring down.
Down at the 46.
Okay, and that's a breakdown in the fundamental. I mean, that's just a wrap-up tackle. I mean, you got him right there, nearly stopped. But that's good running because it keeps his legs moving. It keeps his run alive. That's Sean Fitzgerald. That's a part of that committee that Coach Wade Bright was talking about that he has in the running back position.
So bringing a linebacker in. He runs like a linebacker. So it'll be 2nd down and 13. Zuniga lofts the ball in a timing pattern. It is caught.
Nope.
Or was it out of bounds?
Well, it sailed out of bounds on him. Went off of Harrison.
Excuse me, it's selfie time.
Okay, we'll see it on the replay, but nonetheless, an incompletion for South.
Just out of his reach. So it's 3rd and 13. Zuniga out of the shotgun. Play action down the middle, long and deep, and that's one picked off by Hawthorne at the 25-yard line. Here comes Mapu into South territory. They're going to mark it around the 40-yard line.
And what we saw was a huge block by one of the Cougar on that return. That just took the South player completely out of it. We'll see if we can see that block. There's the interception there.
At
Finally
about the
got
23-yard line. Okay, so it's a 40-yard line of South. 9:18 left to go in the third quarter. Spread formation for the Cougars, their best field position of the night. See if they can make something happen. Got a new quarterback, and that is Mapu. We saw him at quarterback last year. Threw the ball complete to Delgado. Moves the chains.
First down on the 30.
And I'm sure Coach Pasinger just looking for a spark there, because I got to tell you, as we're looking for number 13, who was the starting quarterback.
No, number 9, Kalinowski. He's on the sideline.
Okay.
Zuniga's number
Right,
13
number
for
13,
South.
right. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Again, but this one is thrown out of bounds. So it'll be second down and 10. There's really nothing there anyway. No one was open.
Well, one of the things you get with Maypew, obviously, is the experience. He ran this team last year. If I'm not mistaken, he was a quarterback 2 years ago. Or certainly saw significant action 2 years ago. We know he was the starter last year.
So Mapu out of the spread again. Ty is the tight end. Now this is handed off to Ray. Ray getting towards the 10-yard line inside the 15. And he's a bull in the china closet for the Cougars.
And that's enough for a first down, as they're going to mark it. They look at about the 13-yard line.
So going to call that a 17-yard gain. Nice blocking up front by Ty. So first and 10 at the 13. And a whistle. Well, they're trying to get the clock going again.
Now, of course, the official is being very generous with the Cougar football program, because he could
oh my,
throw a flag on that.
Great defense by South, as they almost knew the play before Hawthorne did. That was Lawrence Masonette.
And you'll see on the replay there where they were really in there. But I want to finish a thought that it just started, and that was the fact that there've just been a ton of clock issues all night long. And as I said, one of the ways, and if you're an official, eventually I think he's going to tire of it and penalize this Cougar team because of the clock issues if they don't get straightened out real soon.
So a loss of 4 on the play. Mapu back to pass, and getting hammered as he threw was Mapu by Fitzgerald, and it's incomplete. You can see that they're blitzing almost on every play, Rufus.
Well, they certainly are showing it for a couple of plays there. The Cougars are doing a good job of picking it up, and I think not letting it rattle them as much as they had in the first half.
Now Malinowski comes back in the game. Also Mapu. So let's see who's going to take the snap. Well, Mapu was the last one out, so I would imagine he's going to take the snap. Malinowski is going to split wide to the far side on third down and about 12. Mapu back to pass, looking for Malinowski, and tight defense by Richardson of South, and it's 4th down and long.
4th and long again. Situation where they probably will go for it on 4th and long, but you basically got to get down inside the 1 yard line to pick up the first down.
So it's number 6, who's not listed in our program, not number 9, who is Malinowski, who's the intended receiver. Mapu back to pass, throws it on the run, caught at the 10 by Morgan, and then pushed back, but forward progress to the 10.
But that's not
nearly enough for the first down.
right. Because I thought that was a 4th down play. Oh, roughing the passer. So that's going to be an automatic first for the Cougars.
They're playing aggressive out there anyway, Rufus. Sean Fitzgerald roughed up Mapu earlier in this drive. And there you see one of the receivers, that's Jalen Morgan.
And that roughing the passer penalty, if I recall correctly, in the first half is what led to the eventual Cougar score. Well, actually, it wasn't, because that came off of the 76-yard run. But there was a big roughing the passer penalty against South in the first. This one, though, in the red zone, gives life to a Cougar team that was on the ropes.
Okay, that goes down to the 6-yard line, half the distance. Draw play to Ray. Ray, pinballing his way close to the 5-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 6. So broke a tackle there, and then Dillon knocked him down. So it's 2nd and goal from the 6. Tight formation on the far hash mark, out of the eye. Mapu's going to be under center. Hands the ball. Oh, my goodness, and it's a good thing. Wow, how fast was Dillon in there? He almost took the handoff from Mapu.
Exactly.
Johnny on the spot was number 8, I do believe. That was Colt Cooley who got the ball. So now it's 3rd down and goal from the 11. So a loss of 5 on the play. Out of the shotgun. Now Mapu is going to take it himself and loses more yardage, back to the 15.
Tosses the ball instantly at the referee, nearly hits him in the face with it.
So South, their defense is toughening up. Out comes Delgado and Morgan, the receivers for the Cougars. So it's back to the 16-yard line, so another loss of 5.
And it's a
4th and goal from the 16. And that was a quick snap, so they're going to that's going to be a procedure call. So another 5 yards back. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 21.
Going the wrong way, fellas, going the wrong way.
So it's 1st and goal from the 6. So now it's 4th and goal from the 21. Mapu back to pass, going for the end zone, has a man open, but
Whoa.
is it caught?
Good. Looks like it is.
Yes, it is. It's a touchdown, Cougars. Don't know who number 6 is, but he caught it.
Well, his mom and daddy know who he is. That's for sure.
And I think the coaches might know, too. So that was a good jump ball right there.
That was excellent concentration by number 6 to stay focused on the ball and to come down with it for the touchdown from 21 yards out.
Out-battled Carl Richardson. Snap back, ball down, kick is up and good. 4:02 left to go in the 3rd quarter. And Hawthorne cuts the lead of South 34-14. So Mapu looking good there on the 21-yard pass at 4:02. Say that again, Tom. Carlos Jacobo, number 6. Okay. Thank you. And you see him out dueling. This is a different angle. Just grabs it away from Richardson.
And also Trevor Talpas, who came in late on the play. But as I said, the key to it was just excellent concentration that time by Carlos Jacobo. Extra point was good. So the score now, 34-14, 4:02 left in the 3rd.
So about a 5.5-minute drive, and it took 9 plays to go 40 yards. So the short field paid off after the interception. So they turned interception into points. Ball is picked up by Richardson. And they like to go on that right sideline, and there goes Richardson, one man to beat. And out of bounds, deep inside of Cougar territory at about the 30-yard line. 1st and 10, another short field for South.
Another short field. Special teams gives up another big kickoff return.
Ball is down on the 30.
So Richard, there's nothing fancy. I mean, every kickoff that South has gotten, they've always gone to the right.
Yeah.
Nice cool drink. If you're hungry, you can get you something to eat too. Go on over there. Tell them Coach Foster sent you.
So now they're going to bring it back, maybe an illegal block.
Whatever it is, the Cougars are thankful for it because it brings it back out to their 45-yard line from their 30.
That's a big one, a 15-yarder.
And with 4 minutes left here in the 3rd, once again, this is one of those situations, another key set of downs if you're South offensively, if you're the Cougars defensively, you're wanting to hold here and get this ball back to your offense.
Patterson with it. Patterson gets to the line of scrimmage and is wrangled down by Jacobo.
I think they'll give him forward progress on the play. And so they'll give him a couple on it.
Actually, that was Cooley. Cooley had him and had some help there from Troy Oliver and friends. So give him 2 yards down to the 43. It'll be 2nd and 8. 3:17 left to go on the game clock. Harrison split closest to us, and a timeout called by South. That's their first one of the first half.
So the South Spartans here with a 34-14 lead, 3:08 left in the third. However, the Cougars have forced a second and long, and it's been these type of situations in the first half, Lou, where Cougars got them in down and distance where they want them, second and long, but they come up with a penalty. They had on a couple of drives, procedure penalty that takes it from a second and long to a second and short, and each time South punished them for it. So once again, right now, let's see if this Cougar defense can stay disciplined to not incur penalties that make the job easier for the Spartans.
Mapu playing deep free safety. Is Dillon with it, stops, goes around. Oh, a good tackle, and that was by Ty.
Now you got a flag coming in on the back of the play, and I think that's going to be a horse collar, potentially a horse collar flag against
you might be
the
right.
Cougars.
It was a whale of a tackle by Ty. Personal face mask is the call. And that was Liasa Ty. I mean, he got him, but
Wow, well.
I didn't see a face mask, but he got jerked down, that's for sure.
That was hard to see on that play. Man, if we have a chance to look at it again, well, that was what he signaled.
was the
He had
big
the
one.
time. He went over, got it, signaled that it was a face mask. Difficult for us to see it. There you see the jersey in the back. Okay, wow. I see two hands. I don't see a face mask there.
I didn't either. Bad snap at Zuniga. Picks it up anyway and gets it to Patterson. Patterson getting way down deep inside of Cougar territory, inside the 10-yard line.
Well, Zuniga took a bit of a hit on that play.
He sure did. Actually, that was Troy Bennett.
Okay.
Another running back. So Bennett gets 21 yards on that carry, depending on where they mark the ball, right at the 10, so 20 yards.
And this South team looks real good. I got to give them a lot of credit, man. They're going to be a load to handle in Pioneer League action.
Yeah, and Coach Wainwright was kind of bird dogging us. Zuniga trying to on the quarterback draw. Look out, here comes Ty. Ty pushes him. And he's caught and wrangled out of bounds by Mapu. But Lisala Ty, he's a load too. The
They've got some
6'7" senior.
size. There you go.
Got his shirt just enough for Troy Oliver to get him. So is it a second down? Second down, and it was a no gain. Shotgun eye, pistol. Patterson with it.
Another no gain play.
Good defense that time by Cooley. Cooley got him. Nice play. Another one of the big Cougar defenders, built like a fire hydrant.
Now here's another big third down play for the Cougar defense. I would think it's a passing situation for South, and now we've got the clock that's really screwed up. Nobody's noticing it yet,
17
but I think you got to
seconds.
stop this clock. You got to stop the play.
Zuniga towards the end zone,
Wow.
And that's a pass interference play. As Trevor Talpas was almost tackled on the play. I don't know if that was Delgado or not.
Now you're saying that the pass was uncatchable. I mean, there was a flag on it, but let's see if they wave it off. Because if they don't, pass interference against the Cougars. And boy, that's going to give them a first down when they had them in third and distance.
Let's watch this.
Wow, that's pretty close. That is pretty close.
Ball on the Good down. First down.
This should be first and goal at the 5. Half the distance. So the penalty bug bites the Cougars again. Pistol formation for the Spartans. Gives it to the new kid, and he rumbles into the end zone for a touchdown. Troy Bennett scores now for South to make it 40-14 with 2 seconds left in the third quarter.
5-yard run for Troy Bennett. And again, all that set up on the penalty, and I think that's important to note that a penalty set that up because it was 3rd and goal from the 10. And that's what I was talking about, down and distance. They had him exactly where you want him as a defense with a chance, giving your team a chance to hold. That looks awfully low, but it barely gets
Sneaks
over
over
the crossbar.
So with 2.6 seconds left in the third quarter, it's 41-14 South. Just barely, it looked like a wounded duck. He just got over there. Yikes. So a 6-play drive that went, well, net 30 yards after the kickoff return. Then the penalty brought him back, so it's still a 30-yard drive.
Right.
7 plays. It took 4 minutes. Troy Bennett with a touchdown. Their first touchdown of the half, and someone else besides Dillon and Zuniga scoring. This one is squibbed, picked up at the 9 by Morgan. Morgan trying to go across field, gets a block, gets up to the 25-yard line. So about a 15-yard return, a little more than that.
But a positive return because he gets it out to and beyond the 20-yard line.
And that's going to end the fourth quarter as the dust clears around the officials. And all's quiet on the Eastern Front.
It always is.
41-14 is our score going into the fourth quarter.
They must be on strike or something.
I guess.
Yeah.
They got a strong union.
Don't have to talk
Rufus
and get paid for it.
Rufus and I are going to be on the road with this act.
Right. I mean, we have to talk to get our paycheck. They don't even have to talk.
No, but they look good. They look marvelous. So do the Cougars. Like the new helmets. Kind of reminds me of UCLA. Another penalty flag. Hope that it's going to nullify another good run. Hopefully it won't.
Wow, and it should possibly could have been one tacked on to the end of that run. This one looks like it's going to go against the Cougars up here. But boy, the shove out of bounds over on the far side.
Now that was the even upper for the Zuniga non-call. So this is first down from the 24. That's Ray, John Al Ray.
Horse collar tackle. Wow. And they called a horse collar against the Cougars on offense.
That was Cooley on Patterson.
Wow, you don't see that often, though.
No, So that goes all the way back to the 5? No, the 10, or the 12, I should say.
Right.
So a 15-yarder all the way back to the 12, and the Cougars are running out of toes and shooting themselves in the foot.
And you're right there at about the 12, and they've got to get out to the 34-yard line.
Ball given to Ray on 1st and 22. Three yards on the play. Up to the 15. So 2nd and 19. Mapu out of the shotgun for the Cougars, looking to pass. Checks off, throws down the middle, and it's caught by Jacobo, and Jacobo gets to the 30-yard line.
Good, it's going to make it a 3rd and manageable because it'll be a 3rd and 4. And
So
this gives them options. They can think about running, they can think about passing it, or they can even try to draw them offside with on the snap count.
So it's 3rd and 4, that's right. 3rd and 4 with 10:30 left to go, clock counting in the 4th quarter. Same formation. Ball is a bad snap. Mapu with it, trying to get up to the 34, gets stopped at the 34.
Be close. He's going to be close. As a matter of fact, looks like he's going to have the first down.
And was stopped by Trevor Talpas and spun his way to the 35-yard line, and first down for the Cougars.
Now, was that the fumble Ruski? There you see the ball on the ground. He picks it up.
You know, you might be right. He got 5 yards.
Famous by the Tom Osborne Cornhuskers.
So the Cougars have a bounce go their way. 9:45 clock counting, 4th quarter. Nice run. 9 yards on the play by number 7.
Wow, now we've got an injured player down on the field. A little slow to get up, but gets up on his own, seeing one of the South players.
Is that number 62? John Kim. This is about the time of night now, Rufus. I'm just thinking there's no wind, little humid out. Hydration becomes an issue.
Certainly does, and that was another first down pickup for the Cougars.
So number 7. With a 10-yard run. 1st and 10 from the 45. Low snap, Mapu gets it, look out. Now he has a man open on the far side. Caught.
Whoa.
Caught inside the 10.
Inside the 5.
And that is Benjamin Delgado with a beautiful catch. Had to wait for it to come down. Talk about concentration, Rufus.
Yep.
He had a Spartan all over him. Let's watch Mapu, as he had to get rid of it in a hurry. And coming in, bearing down, was Brandon Tarashi. So is it at the 5? It's at the 8-yard line.
No, they're setting up inside the 5. The ball's at the 4.
Okay, at the 4. Okay, excuse me. So that was at the Hawthorne 45, right?
Right.
51 yards.
And now we got South making a mental mistake as they jump offside. That's going to make it half the distance to the goal. So if it's at the 4, now it's at the 2, which means that, boy, that task just got real easy for the Cougars if they can cash in right here.
1st and goal at the 2 for Hawthorne. 2 men in the backfield. And it's number 7 into the end zone. Touchdown, Hawthorne. Good looking drive put on by Mapu, Marte
Touchdown,
Mapu.
Hawthorne. Touchdown, Hawthorne. That touchdown was made by Chip.
And that, Rufus, was a 76-yard drive at the 8:17 mark. So almost 4 minutes off the clock there. We'll get to Sebastian after the extra point. So 41-20. And Hawthorne is going to go for the 1. Snap back, ball down, kick is up, and it's high and good. 8:17 left to go in the fourth quarter, and Hawthorne cuts into the lead, 41-21. Is it 21 or 20? Let's go to Sebastian.
Should be 21, and now it is.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Quick injury report on the Hawthorne Cougars side for Eric Holmes, number 22. He came and sat down on the bench. The trainers looked at him for a while. He seems like he strained a calf muscle. They don't really know yet, still examining him, but they told him to stretch for a little bit for 5 minutes, and he is going back in the game.
All right, thank you very much, Sebastian. But Hawthorne has scored a couple of good-looking touchdowns tonight.
It's good, and that was the result of a couple of changes they made. First change was to put the more experienced quarterback in, Martin Mapu, I should say, and he's led them on 2 drives here in the second half, in addition to the fact that he had an INT as well.
Okay, so now we have a whistle, but what happened? Because the kick went over Harrison's head, but it was in between the 10 and the 5-yard line.
Well, I think the point was I don't think anybody was ready. I mean, I must admit, I was on the field, the referee back there saying, okay,
what's that? He's saying what happened. Okay. So the key play, 51-yard pass from Mapu to Jacobo. You talk about a couple of the veterans on this team.
Yeah, and they've come up big, particularly Mapu. Remember, he had the interception in the third quarter as well.
Mm-hmm. And that led to a touchdown. Mapu to Jacobo. So this one is squibbed. Going to pitch it to Harrison. Let's see if he comes right. Yep.
Wow, look at that hole. Look at that hole.
Could have driven old Ironside through there. There's a flag at the 50.
Yeah, they caught it. This is coming back. Don't even worry about it. It's coming back.
Into the end zone. But let's see what the call is.
It's all coming back. There's a block in the back against South out here at the 45-yard line. So that block in the back is going to back them up 10 yards from the spot, which is where the flag is. They indicated as defensive, as holding by the return team. Still the same consequence, 10-yard penalty. They're at the 45, and that'll take them back to the 35.
So back to the score by Hawthorne. A 4-yard run by number 7. It was a 7-play drive and went 76 yards in about 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Oh boy, Harrison, if there was a high school fantasy team, he'd be on my team.
Right, yeah. Very good player.
He'd be my running back and my kicker. I shouldn't say that. But
well, but just imagine. I mean, you got a pro athlete playing high school football.
That's true. Now, there's something wrong if the pro contract says you can't play high school soccer, but you can play football.
Right.
Okay.
Who'd have thunk it?
That's like telling a hand model you can't wash dishes, but you can be a butcher.
Right.
Or a lumberjack. Well, I don't know.
No, but the
good.
point's well taken.
We have a timeout on the field.
Let's face it, who would want their soccer player out on an American football field? Maybe that's where they got confused at.
Yeah. He can't
He
get
said,
hurt.
I'm going to play football. And they were like, okay. Football's okay.
Yeah.
Can't play soccer, but you can play. So you
got all that stuff on.
So you
How
had
can
a
he get
Beverly
hurt?
Hills guy who said, okay, you can't play soccer, but you can play football.
That's right.
Yeah. And he didn't know that the football he was talking about was this. He thought he was clearing him to play soccer.
Well, no one's touching him anyway, so
Right.
he hasn't been caught yet. But you know, wait a minute, hasn't both of his touchdowns been called back?
I sure have, and because of penalties by his teammates.
I'll take that back. He
Well,
did
we
have
know that one was just called back.
He did have the 70-yard, or was that Richardson? Yeah, that was Carl Richardson. At any rate, Zuniga, out of the pistol, hands the ball off, and a missed tackle in the backfield, and still on his feet.
You know, you had initial contact at the line of scrimmage. I mean, hard initial contact. How he breaks out of that to pick up 6 yards on the play.
And that's Cameron Dillon.
Guys have got to fly to the ball. They're waiting for the play to come to them on the defensive side. Once your teammate in any kind of way is slowing them down, you've got to zoom in there on the play.
There's some sort of an offside, illegal motion. There's the line judge calls
And it's
Hawthorne
offside
offside
against Hawthorne.
So that could give him a first down. Should mark the ball at the 46 if it's 5 yards from there. Actually 47, they'll mark it. So that's a first down, a gift by Hawthorne.
And that's going to have to be a stat that their coaching team will look at. And again, that's one of those corrections you make during the next week before you go into your next contest. And, of course, we know they'll be back out on the field next week. Not quite sure. We'll tell you that in a moment. They'll be hosting Banning.
Reverse to Richardson, and a good play by Hawthorne to sniff it out. Number 7, our old buddy, lucky number 7.
There you go.
Good play by him to get the speedy Carl Richardson, and he loses back to the 5-yard line. Well, if we can get one of our sideline reporters to find out who number 7 is, we can give him his due.
And you talk about picking up the
So
pace.
that's a 3-yard loss. Sorry about Rufus.
No. Well, somebody's going to find out who 7 is, and
let's hope. I'll go down there. Zuniga back to pass. Has a man open. That's Richardson. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. Inside the 25-yard line down to the 21.
That's more than enough for a first down.
We'll mark it at the 22. It's a 23-yard pass play to Noah Harrison, excuse me.
Now the coverage was there, just a good throw by the quarterback, Zuniga.
Pistol formation again. Zuniga hands the ball off to Bennett.
Wow. Bennett's made the most of his opportunities. You know, again, we talk about the running back by committee, and they've had a couple of different guys in there. Bennett came in late in the first half, if not the third quarter initially.
That was his first carry was in the third quarter.
Okay. Yeah. And, boy, he's taking advantage of his opportunity.
Getting a little breather, and doesn't get any easier because Sean Fitzgerald comes in to replace him, the linebacker. .420 clock running left in the fourth quarter. 41-21, South with the lead, and with the ball at the 15. Fitzgerald gets it. Fitzgerald through the hole in the defensive backfield, and finally gets knocked down at the 4-yard line. But not after a first down, so it's first and goal from the 6.
3:57 left here in the fourth quarter, 41-21. Scoreboard favors South. The Spartans from the Pioneer League. They'll be going up against those losing Olympians in a couple of weeks.
Zuniga still in the pistol. Has Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald wants the touchdown, but he gets close, but no touchdown. Gets inside the 5, down to the 4, so a 2-yard gain. Let's see if they leave Sean out there to try to get that touchdown. Good defense, swarming defense by the Cougars. So 2:40 left to go in the fourth quarter. Out of the eye, they give it to Fitzgerald, trying to get towards the end zone, gets smacked at the goal line and driven back. Good job by the defense on a 3rd and goal play. So now it's 4th and goal from the 1. Watch Fitzgerald, Rufus, battle for this. And then the Cougars hang on.
And again, that time they did what I was talking about. You got to go meet the play instead of waiting for the play to come to you. As you can see, the clock continues to wind down inside of 2 minutes now.
And Fitzgerald comes out of the game. Dillon replaces him. So to say they're loaded at running back is an underestimation. And then their fullback is a load too. Dillon has it, cuts back towards the middle, and now gets into the end zone. Good blocking up front by the Spartans. Touchdown for them with 1:33 left to go. It's 47-21. So Dillon gets the hat trick. That's his 3rd touchdown of the night. And the big blocker up front was big old Jimmy Clark, the 215-pound junior.
Touchdown's good, but boy, you got a flag thrown on the play, and that flag's against South. Something was said in there that the referee didn't care for because he threw his flag. Whoa.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. So they're going to mark it off on the extra point. Too bad they didn't mark it off on the kickoff.
Well, it looks like they're actually marking it off. Well, yeah. And I got you now, because that's exactly what I was thinking, that the mark-off should occur. I mean, if you want to be fair to the defending team, the mark-off should occur on the kickoff rather than the extra point. And I think that's what they may be sorting through now, or at least that Coach Pazinger seems to be asking.
Or pleading, saying, Can't you please?
And he makes his case. And now they're going to move the ball back up. You see him moving the ball again.
Yeah, and then the official just said they'll do it on the kickoff.
I mean, what punishment is it if Harrison's going to kick the extra point attempt, if he can kick it from his own 40, across the end line, and you're just saying, okay, well, we'll back you up to the 25, and you kick it from there.
Yeah, kick it halfway to the 105. So Harrison, gave him a yard as the whole left side of the special teams line moved for Hawthorne.
Mental mistakes, boy. Again, that's practice. They'll go over all this next week in practice and hopefully clean up some of these things. I saw a lot of things, especially these offside and procedure penalties. That can be pretty easily cleaned up.
Harrison hits the upright, and it's no good. So it's 47-21 with 1:33 left to go in the ball game. And Hawthorne can at least put some more points on the board, Rufus. But yeah, you're right. The score, well, okay, we're going to. South did pick it up. I mean, with their play and their experience, they were able to get great field position most of the night, especially in the first half.
Right. But here in the second half, I mean, quite frankly, the Cougar team has held them to 13 points here in the second.
Well, we have a hit from Tamara Lata when she is ready. Go Tamara.
The Spartans are not taking their feet off the gas. Although being up by double digits, they are making Hawthorne do exactly what's on the back of their helmets. Earn it. Let's see how it goes in the fourth quarter.
Yes, ma'am. With mint jelly on the side.
There you go. Earn it.
That's because they got a green helmet, see?
Right.
So this is a short kick, goes out of bounds. Now, what do they do in this case, Rufus?
I think you no longer re-kick it. And, of course, that's a part of just clock management and keeping the game moving. So the ball will be spotted out at the – looks like they're in – let's see where the question is where they spotted. So, as we can see, they won't be re-kicking it. They'll just penalize the spot. Penalize them with a very favorable spot.
Well, that's what the Cougars need.
Well,
or
on second thought, maybe they are going to make them re-kick
it over, okay. So on the last touchdown by Cameron Dillon, the 1-yard run, that capped off an 8-play, 65-yard drive. And I am very impressed. Just thinking over the South teams that we've seen play over the years, doesn't surprise me. But this team really could do some damage in the Pioneer League.
You're impressed, and I'm confused. So now they aren't going. Now they change their mind, and they won't be kicking it over.
Okay, it's early for them too, in the year. But that's no excuse, is it? You're wearing stripes tonight.
Except my stripes are purple, so these guys are in black and white stripes. So clearly, I'm not in game mode. But now let's see.
Yes, you are. You wake up in game mode.
So here comes the official spotting of the kickoff that went out of bounds.
So it's a 15-yarder.
Okay.
Because it went out of bounds way back over there.
Well, there's a lot of stuff happening now. I think we probably just need to give up on this one.
Just put it there and we'll start. It'll be like a face-off in hockey or a tip-off in basketball. Just put it in the center. Or that other game they call football on the other side of the ocean. to start it from there.
Yep, and that's what they decided to do when it's all said and done. They put it at midfield. There's 1:33 left. 47-21 is our score. Obviously, South's going to get out of here with the victory, but
I don't mean to laugh,
the
but
Cougars are trying to end this game on a positive.
they have
on a
an
positive
opportunity
momentum.
and a good pass by Mapu, and it's complete down inside the 35-yard line, and that is Joseph Areola. So that, Rufus, is a 17-yard play. Down to the 32-yard line.
And Mapu has
18.
done, Lou, what any good athlete does. And, I talked about it earlier how, he's kept himself ready. He was willing to move to another position, do different things. He did all that. But Coach Paisley turned around and said, hey, man, I need you to come back here and get under center. Let's see what we can do. And he's just done some very good things with his time on the field tonight. I got a feeling.
Is that a completion? No.
No, I got a feeling that he'll be their starting quarterback next week.
That's his first incompletion in a while. He had completed 4 in a row. He's only missed 3 out of 8. So he's 5 out of 8 and a touchdown in the second half. Or just, the second half.
Game's 57 seconds away from ending. Yeah, I would think Sebastian, he'd start getting ready for your post-game.
Mapu going for the end zone, has a man
That's
open.
a touchdown.
Inside the 5-yard line. It'll be first and goal for the Cougars.
And the clock never moved.
Michael Miller. Okay. Well, that's all that excitement. That's Michael Miller with his first catch of the day. At least I believe it's Michael Miller. At any rate, the ball is inside the 5. They're going to call it the 2 or 3. Oh, don't tell me they're going to do it over again.
No. A flag was thrown against Hawthorne.
That was the clock keeper. We just saw on the screen.
Looks like the indication of illegal man downfield.
Well, there's the clock keeper's assistant.
Right. Hey, too much action for the little ones.
It's hot out here. Look at that, Michael Miller with a nice grab.
It's nothing like taking a nap at the stadium. I'm serious. I mean, you go to baseball games, they do it all the time.
That's right. Mapu again going downfield, but this is short. You know what? Those two candidates could be our next sideline reporters.
Right.
They are on the ball.
Clint.
At the 45-yard line, 40-yard line. So it is 3rd down and 18.
No. As I say, did you say Chelsea? Okay, anyway, forget it.
They're yapping in the truck.
I know.
We got to keep that under wraps here, They're talking about, the facts of life and stuff. Mapu, there's a fact of life right there down to the 30-yard line. A pass complete to good old number 12.
Looks like they have a timeout being taken by somebody because it's certainly not a first down.
It's a 10-yard gain nonetheless, so it should be 4th and 8 at the 30-yard line. So a 10-yard gain, number 17. And another completion for Mapu. So a timeout on the field with 39.7 seconds left. And you can see a glimmer, a big glimmer for the Hawthorne Cougars. The talent's there.
It is. It is.
But they're being outclassed tonight by, well, what you got to say is one of the favorites for the Pioneer League.
I think you got to say that, but also when you go back and break down the 47 points and how they came by them, what you're going to see is a lot of mistakes in terms of, like, say, the penalties and turnovers by the Cougars.
Mapu over the middle had a man wide open, and it was almost picked off.
Threw it behind him. If he had thrown it, if he had led him on the inside shoulder, and he'd have picked up great yardage on that play.
Nice tight spiral.
You see the ball thrown to the outside. Receiver was turned inside, though.
Joseph Areola, so it's turned over on downs with 35 seconds left. So let's see if they'll run a play or take a knee. Looks like they're going to take a knee. They being the Spartans.
Well, that's a sportsmanlike thing to do. 35 seconds left. I can't imagine that Hawthorne wants to extend this thing any further themselves.
Juan Gamino coming in on the defensive line. A 6-foot senior. And that's exactly what Zuniga does. Gabe Zuniga, as the clock rolls down. Very impressive night for Gabe and his Spartan teammates.
And they won't have to snap it again. So everybody agrees, hey, game's over. This was a good one. Let's shake hands, go home.
No one got hurt.
And enjoy the rest of our weekend.
Also, Cameron Dillon, what a night he had. 3 touchdowns. And that's it from Halcap Field. The final score, 47-21. The South Spartans over the Hawthorne Cougars in a non-league preseason game.
Good showing by both teams, and I realize folks may say, well, hey, how can you say about the Cougars? I thought the Cougars showed well. I'm expecting that our sideline reporters, although they're not giving us indication that they will, be hustling to get a couple of interviews with the coaches, certainly with Coach Pazinger, because I'd love to hear his thoughts about his team's performance tonight.
That's right. And getting Mapu.
Thank you for coming out. Have a good night.
Getting Mapu
Get on safe.
back on the field, changing quarterbacks in the second half. That, like you say, they outscored. I believe they outscored the Spartans in the second half. That was a tie, 14-14. But still a much better showing in the second half for the Hawthorne Cougars.
Come on, you already talked to that coach. Talk to Coach Pazinger.
And looks like Tamara Lata is going to have a guest. So the Hawthorne Cougars fall to 0-2, and the Spartans of South High School improve to 2-0. And let's go down to Tamara.
Great win tonight. You played 3 positions: receiver, you were a kicker, a punt returner. What was it like to play 3 positions out there tonight?
It was great. I love playing football, but I just do as much as I can for my team. I mean, if my coach wants me to play the position, I'll play it. So I just want to help out my team.
How do you carry over a win like this? You guys were awesome out here tonight. How do you carry this energy over to the next game?
Thank you. I mean, last week we got a good win, and we just came back the next day, Monday, practice. We watched film the next Saturday, and we just reflected on the game, and we know that next week's going to be a harder and better team. We have to fight.
I'm going to piggyback here to those 3 positions. If you could play one position, what position would you choose? I mean, you're great at every position, but what position would you play?
Thank you. I'd like to play wide receiver. That's my favorite position. I think that's the one that I would like to play of all of them.
Okay, thank you, and good luck next game. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Tamara. And that was Number 6, Noah Harrison for the South Spartans. And Sebastian Spencer is getting ready to talk to Donald Pasinger, the head coach of the Hawthorne Cougars. And as soon as he gets set, just take it away.
Coach, tough loss for you guys again tonight. What did you take away from the second half?
We played. We just kept playing. That's all. That was our conversation at halftime. Keep competing.
And what do you have planned for these guys going into next week, being that still early in the season?
Keep working. We're a young team. We have 6 seniors, so we got to just keep working.
Good luck next week, Coach.
Thank you.
All right. There you go, guys. Coach Pasinger, a man of few words. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Sebastian Spencer. Rufus and I are going to pick the player of the game and the tip of the hat right after this.
Hi, I'm Donnell Beverly from the University of Connecticut, home of the 2011 National Championship Yukon Huskies basketball team, and you're losing your Olympians.
Beverly around the back, follow-away jumper. Good, beautiful shot.
It wasn't too long ago that I was playing basketball right here.
I just want to thank him for having me here. I'm honored to play here.
And the Huskies are the top dog in 2011.
Winning the NCAA championship has always been a goal of mine, but so is getting a great education that will last me a lifetime. You can achieve your goals too. All you have to do is work hard and dream hard, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
Back here at Halcap Stadium along with Rufus Washington. And Rufus, even though the score is 47-21 South over Hawthorne, a lot of good things shown by the Cougars.
A lot of good things shown, and again, the score is very deceptive. I thought the Cougars were pretty much in the game, and certainly they actually won the second half scoring-wise, but they showed a number of good things, and boy, they went back to the old tried and true in terms of Marty Maypew, and he really did some good things for him there in the second half.
As a matter of fact, he is our player of the game. Congratulations to number 5, Marty Maypew, and maybe we'll see him a quarterback again next time around. And who is your tip of the hat?
Tip of the hat goes tonight to number 29, John L. Ray. John L. had a couple of big runs, and he was a threat. After he had that big 76-yard run to set up one of their early scores, he became a threat the rest of the night, and he did, in fact, break 1 or 2 for some pretty big gains. So I think he's going to be a guy that the Cougars are going to look at going forward. So, John L. Ray, congratulations to you. You are our Tip of the Hat award winner tonight.
All right. Well, for Rufus Washington, Sebastian Spencer, and Tamara Latta, and Tom Strickfaden, and the entire award-winning, 3-time Star Award-winning CityTV crew, this is Lou Stowers saying so long from Halcap Field. 47-21, the final score, South over Hawthorne. And again, we remember you, all of you who gave their all on 9/11.
Absolutely.